Evening, everybody. I hope you had a good week after having started. Some of you having started the Sapindales study only last time, and hope you all enjoyed it, could use it, could think about it. So today we are going to continue that, the Sapindale study. So just in case there have been some more new people, we'll revise for the first 2-3 minutes. So Sapindales belongs to fifth subclass that we know, which is of the plant kingdom, which has 6 subclasses. The first family in Sapindales is Anacardiaceae, which we've started studying already. And then the others, and the most important is Rutaceae. So we will be basically finishing Anacardiaceae today. Next time, we'll be doing Rutaceae. I want to do these medicines, olive and aesculus. So we'll see when we will be doing that. Yeah. So these 2 families we'll do in detail, and the others we just do anything anybody wants and they ask for it, or what I know we'll do, or what I want to tell you all about. So we have finished last time, if you remember, anacardium, formocladia, then 2 russes, the rus glabra and the rus radicans. Now, this time we'll be doing 5 russes. So just for people, this is the 5 subclasses. We are doing the 6 subclasses. We'll be doing the 5th subclass we are doing. And the Sapindales belongs to the early childhood and school age. Yeah? So you can see the lot of rigidity which is there in it. So first 2 columns of the subclass, Magnolidae and Hammermelidae, they have come from the other world and come to this world, but they still don't know where they belong, there or here or there as Hammermelidae. And so they have a lot of connection with the others. And they feel the pain of separation from the divine and try to reestablish the unity with that divine. But subclass 5 here, they've forgotten where they came from. And they think that it is the other. It no longer remembers or recognizes the separation and perceives the separateness as an entity unto itself. No, they think about it as evil eye, black magic, and so on. We see a lot of that in this particular subclass. So the split and the separation from the infinite abundance of column 1. In column 5, it becomes rotten. Yeah? So Anacardiaceae, which is the first family in Sapindales, the feeling we know is constriction and tightness, band, plug. So motion is the most important thing because it wants to move and go to work. So the sensation is caught stiff, not allowed to move, restricted but wants to move, and familiar. This is Anacardiaceae chart. You can see all of this, caught stiff and all. What they want is movement, and so this is their story. Each one has a little different story, which is what we should understand. The key words are inelastic, trapped, limited, taut, blocked, paralyzed. They want to be free and liberated. My body is stiff on waking. I'm scared. I can't move my body. In dreams, patient felt all these feelings. Feel stiff, blocked, locked, cannot move, suffocated, trapped, all these things. It gets more and more caught. My neck does not move. It is blocked. As if I'm in the middle of a traffic jam, feeling of being caught. Now we'll do the individual remedies. We did last Thursday, anacardium, comocladia, rust glabra, rust. Actually, I had promised you I'll give you a case, personal case of rust radicans, but today's thing is so jam-packed. We have some over 100 slides, so we won't do this. We'll see next time. So we'll have to understand anacardiaceae, each one with one field. And today I'm going to spend a lot of time on Mangifera. So there will be a lot of repetition, there'll be some cases, some understanding, because I think that Mangifera, being an Indian fruit grown in India, it will have a big use in India, in the Indian CME. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on this, okay? Many, I think almost 1/3 slides are on this. The proving was done by Dr. Prakash Vakil, who was my teacher in CMP, and it was made from the bark of the tree. It was published in 1990. It is basically, Mangifera is work oriented. They are go-getters, mean they want what they want, they will get. Everything they forget when they are at work. So they want to get up and go and work like all the anacardiaceae, but these people, just work is the most important. Okay, so that we'll have to remember. And there is lot of wanting relationship, but anger because the relationships are very sticky. So you sticky, you will find a lot of comparison between Kali here. The pain which will come because any relationship goes through pain can, whenever withdrawal comes, then there is pain. And then they go on to quarrelsomeness and cycle. So first we'll do one case. Man with hyperacidity and chest pain. In spots. This is a grand feature of the remedy, like spots. I told you, it will come in Kali also. It has 3 a.m. average, sticky discharges like that. Wakes at 3 a.m. with pain. So you have 3 a.m., you have Kali and night. And also DD is hyperacidity argent. And of course, it has a lot of craving for night. He says, when I work in office, I'm not even aware of my problem. But when I come home and start thinking of my problems, I am miserable. Ailments from business partner quarreled with him and sued. You can understand how sticky is the relation. Involuntary sign likes cream and white clothes. So the analysis was, when burning pain in the chest under the sternum, better by cold drink and cold water. Phosphorus comes for DD, but that is chilly. Mangifera is hot. 3 a.m. hyperacidity, better by work. Hardworking, diligent people from the anacardiaceae family want to wear white. Tricky, singy, discharge like Kali Bai, and likes to be very busy like the bee, and they are more superstitious. Emotions are intense and fiery, a blazing flame of sensual desire, very high. Of all the rust, this is maximum, has risen in the proving. The extra, it is a very peculiar remedy. You must listen carefully and understand. The extra need for emotion and love and sweetness, like the mango, yeah? So the desire for husband can become sticky to other people, too much desire for husband. Coming in contact with others often results in hurt and burn. So there is a lot of anger and vexation from ailments from very easily offended, lot of romantic issues, lot of weeping, lot of mourning, lot of disappointment in love, especially one that is coupled with quarrels, causing heartburn felt in the chest. The important thing is acidity and heartburn, anger, too much love, wanting, craving, and then finally leading to desire for husband becomes aversion to us. The inevitable pain causes withdrawal. When emotions are not expressed and clarified, then this bridge comes, breaks. They start with desire for husband and end with aversion to husband. This is that fifth column split. Regarding meeting the other, they want to meet in a balanced way, and this want to have land in imbalance, which is equated to the sweetness of the fruit. You know how mango is, and the irritating quality of the leaves. So that is your. They themselves can hurt others, quarrelsome, want to slap those who irritate them, and then later become very malicious, abusive, hard-hearted. There is somebody's mic which is on. Can you please put it off? Everybody should be on mute. And at last, apathy. Easily become weak and exhausted. A split around the subject of light and fire, religious dreams, wanting only white around them, desire for white cream clothes, and skin white patches boric cells. Discharges are also white, as if they're discharging when coming into contact with the other. Mangifera very hardworking, very assertive and involved with work. Work day and night and get a lot of acidity and heart. Very common in business people, lot of stimulants they take. They want to work, want to stimulate brain with coffee and tea, and they are very sincere. Emotions are also very intense. Extra need for emotion, very attached to husband, very sticky relationship, then breaks and hurt. The anger, disappointment, love, romantic issues, when the sticky relationship breaks, gets burnt up, and you get hurt. They are go-getters, but the sticky relationship when breaks, then they get inevitable pain and become pitiful, and may even business may suffer. This is about the mango, the sweet fruit, like the partner very much. So if there's a problem, get burnt up and finally irritable and hot. Then become quarrelsome, very easily offended, feel like kicking the person, voluntary sign like Ignitia, weeps easily, worse being like Vishpala, wants to be busy, wants company, and very hungry. Anger even with himself, not giving you rubrics. You cannot believe that Mangifera is there in all these rubrics. So do look it up and, company aversion to when things become sticky, can mutilate, slit, desire to, death desires when they go into depression. Delusion is of being deserted and forsaken when the relationship does not work out. Delusion is freedom will come when I am old. And delusion of fruit. I don't know what this means, but it is there in the report. Dwells on past disagreeable occurrence, the constant thinking. Sticky, I told you sticky, sticks. Desires nothing. Dreams naked, sleeping. Already told you, very highly sexual. Lot of anger and disappointment, sighing, ennui. Delusion there is of hearing also. And delusion, people are suffering because of their karma. Rubric, mocking, sarcasm, mocking. There are very few remedies there. We should remember this. Superstition. All anacardiaceae have it, but Rostock has maximum. This has also got it. Feels like striking that person, irritating them, involuntary sighing, weeps easily. Sticky white discharge, but also hemorrhage. We will see in another remedy, even more hemorrhage. Throat is blocked, like all anacardiaceae. See, rheumatic pain with itching palms. This is peculiar about Mangifera. Rheumatic pain with itching palms. Particulars are cold, rhinitis, white spots when they get sunburned, sticky discharges, were better by cold. The acute throat complaints are better by cold. Passive hemorrhages are from uterus, gastric, pulmonary, or intestinal. Relaxation of mucous membrane of the alimentary tract. Chronic intestinal irritation. Hemorrhage is dark and venous blue. Metrorrhagia after abortion. Varicose veins. Split between the subject of light and fire. Fire is not seen so much except when they hit and all that. You have this kind of. The females are go-getters. When in sticky relation with other and it breaks, then they get hyperacidity, sticky discharges, rheumatic complaint, typical of this whole order with itching. Metrorrhagia fibroids from metrorrhagia painless, metrorrhagia profuse, painless, dark and blue. Throat is better by cold. Aggravated 2 to 3, Kali, metrorrhagia fibroid, painless, I told you. Leucorrhea sticky and leads to secondary infertility. Desires cold food, mango, sour and sweet. Worse from sour and spicy. Acidity, hot. So, these are the words. Acidity, rheumatism, sticky discharges, heartburn. Better
please switch off the phone. Whoever's coughing, please switch off your mic. Please mute. Thank you.
Sticky relationship, open air ameliorates, continued motion ameliorates, worse by sour, like Rostock. See, there we all of Rostock symptoms. Most of the remedies are not well proved. So you have to take Rostock and then you have to differentiate what is there. So here you'll have craving for mangoes, you'll have 3 a.m. aggravation, you'll have this excessive sexual desire, you'll have this desire for husband then becomes aversion to husband. And white spots, sticky discharge, 3 o'clock, and all these things, and better by warm. Better by vomiting, and better by warm or cold, I think cold. Better open air, sitting bent forward or erect. Better continued motion, aggravated sour food. AM, exertion, change of weather. It loves mangoes, it's hardworking, believe in karma, naked in sleep, sleeps on or dreams of it. And so rubrics again, some more. Company desire for, naked wants to be, sleeping, offended easily, striking, sign, disappointment, deception. You take these rubrics down, you see them, they are there in the repertory. It is amazing. Mind dwells events on past disagreement. Mind busy, delusion, deserted, forsaken. Imagines freedom will come when she is old. Mangifera is the single remedy. Delusion, fruit of. Karma, people suffering from. Desires, nothing. These are all rubrics. Mocking, death desires. Stringy, ropey discharge. Excretion white and throat choking and constriction. So I've just done that repertorial chart for you. It seems unbelievable that Mangifera is there in almost every. Except disappointment, I didn't find it. Otherwise, all that I told you, it's all here. And the only remedy which covers every. Okay, so that was Mangifera. Any questions on Mangifera? 40 slides out of the 115 were just on this, okay? Is Mangifera little clear to y'all? Will you all be able to?
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, where can we read the proving of Mangifera indica?
You have to go back. I also don't. It must be somewhere. But I've given you all of it. If you've taken notes, you'll see.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
But hardly we use, no, madam. Hardly. I mean, like till now, I didn't see.
No. बंद करो ना पहले. Hello. यार, मेरा lecture चल रहा है, कुछ समझ नहीं. Yeah, you were saying something.
No, hardly we use. No, I mean, like till now, I didn't come across physicians using it. Yeah. And of course, it will be available in the pharmacy, but
Yeah,
till
yeah.
now,
Available in the pharmacy.
available, yeah. But till now, I mean, like I didn't come across physicians using it also. I mean, like
I think it is wonderful. I think we will find lot of people. I can think of 1 or 2 patients to give it to. And I've
okay, okay.
seen. So, so I think we will find it a lot. And the important thing to remember is that where the difference lies between Rustox and this. So you
Hmm.
have this sticky thing giving you heartburn. Rustox will have more joint pains, right? And here also you have rheumatism with itching palm. You have the 3 a.m. aggravation. You have this great stickiness to the husband and then finally aversion if the relationship doesn't work out. And then really can become very indifferent and can hit and
Like in phosphorus, it was being compared with the phosphorus also, no?
yeah,
Like they can develop indifference.
can become like that, yes. But phosphorus is loving to so many people, you know. So it is not sticking to one person. This person is like craving for the husband and then aversion to the husband.
Like a hot calibic.
Hot Cali.
Hot calibic.
Calibic.
Okay. But I think we should all find it very
Sticky discharge, the same sticky discharge, 3 a.m. aggravation, acidity.
So we'll have to
But hot.
differentiate from Kali.
Yeah, shades of, especially time of aggravation. Yeah.
And then how do we
And the discharge.
Discharges.
But very different from Kali, no? It is very different. Kali, the sun doesn't have so much anxiety. It wants to work. Kali wants to be laid back a bit and get along with people. So in the general sense, and Kali, of course, is mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom. So that you will find very different. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, now we'll do Rustox. Now we are not going to do Rustox. We all use day in and day out. So we all know it very well. So all the symptoms are there. Lots of proving have been done, very extensive. So all the common symptoms I'm not going to do. We are going to do what is different. Yeah. So it is poison oak and it is anacardium. So it is a poisonous climbing shrub native to North America, bearing red, hairy, small fruits. Due to the high levels of urushiol resin, the mere contact with the leaves, with the leaves cause irritating reaction. So we all know Rustox has a very severe reaction, very red, very severe allergic reaction. Here also discharge can be sticky. So you have Rustox, very important for contact dermatitis, itching, lesions, and even necrosis. The tree is beautiful orange, even the previous one was orange, but that was orange fruit. And this is orange bark, and the bark has sticky discharge. The tincture from the same leaves are found very efficacious in treating paralysis, herpes, fungal infections of the skin, and even mumps cases are reported. It is a polycrest with lot of information. We'll do only what is relevant to the, the plant. So it is the typhoid miasm. What is the typhoid miasm? Very hopeful and wants to come out of the situation fast. We'll put in all effort to come out fast. Much effort to come out of situation. We know the local symptom. We must learn the noble symptoms. So there is mental disorder and deep pathology of the nervous system, heart, other systems that we must understand. In the early stages, Rastox is very cheerful, joking, lively, spiritual, and very obsequious. Am I this a right pronunciation? Obsequious.
Yeah, obsequious.
So excessive respect to others. You know, some people just go on, आइए जी, बैठिए जी, five times, you know, आइए, so बहुत खुशी हुई आपसे मिलके, बहुत खुशी हुई आपसे मिलके. No, very too obsequious means too bending down in front of others, excessive respect. So this we must remember, quick-witted and friendly, but peculiarly timid, religious, very religious. Later, this animated stage is replaced by inner restlessness and agitation, and often becomes irritable. But none of them are as irritable and as bad as what we did last time, anacardium and comoclave. Useful in behavioral disorders of children who are restless, irritable, even malicious. Adults are serious and hardworking, like in Mangifera we saw, impatient and driven, even like Natsa. And they want to come out of any problem fast. Craving for cold. Acidity better by cold. So as I told you, obsequious, namaste, 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 likes holy threads, religious, talks about evil eye, like the other anacardiaceae. As the pathology deepens, they become stiff and rigid in behavior. So they will do mantra for 1 hour, they will visit all holy places. Very easily they get into depression and neurosis. Who wants to visit many religious places? Compulsive disorder, they become ritualistic disorder. And all the Ruses, the Rus talks is more superstition with fixed ideas. Changing and clear eruption. Dreams of exertion. Rastock cannot relax because it wants to get out fast. So Tourette syndrome is common. Mental stiffness, superstition, compulsive behavior, ritual, will wear glass beads, will wear rings, will wear many things which are religious. They believe in doing the right thing. So in the bus, they will give lady to the seat to the lady and stand for 4 hours. But they are also very critical of others when, in relationship, especially when they are suppressed and criticized. And they're very wary of getting hurt. They are retired but never tired. That is the phrase. Wants to work all the time, like Mangifera, and ask question, why these joint pain, doc? How will I work? How will I do? It doesn't allow me to move. More on the left side wants to move, suppressed and criticized. So you'll find a lot of oppressive fathers in the background or oppressive husbands. And evening activity. Morning, of course, we know. Morose, stiffness and rigidity all over the body, especially joints and motion-related areas. can develop numbness, tendency to strains and sprains, rheumatism, inflammation of joint, fibromyalgia, better by continuing. Neck, you have a trigger finger, you may have a stiff neck from yoga, of sport, joint pains, then worse by motion. Arthritis after getting a cold, exposed to cold. Stiff eyelids. Sensitive to cold, worried about evening gust of wind, no? Cold draft, or cold floors, we know all that, along with the innate rigidity. The anxiety about business, which is common for many others. Strong effect on nervous system, mucous membrane, serous membrane, and skin. Progressive stiffness often coming after a period of too much overuse or rest. Dermatitis, I've already told you how irritating things can irritate. It alternates between rigidity and restlessness. I told you in the initial stages, joking, restless, cheerful, and then move to becoming fearful, angry, fierce, killing. Wet, uncovering, left-sided, both Brian and Rostov, and acute influenza with much aching, which forces patient to continuously shift, as it is better by continuous motion. Mangifera is hot. This is better by warm. Muscles, sprain, tendons, stiff eyelids, craving for cold things. Nerves. Parkinson, better by motion. So you will have a little confusion, generally better by cold or better by hot, craving for cold and craving for hot. It is maybe better by warm, but it has craving for cold. Rheumatic cough, stiffness, joint pain, worse, aggravated, better by motion. Ailments from cold and cold draft and damp. So your acute DDs are Ruta, where you have arthritis and injuries with similar modalities. Phosphorus, where you have craving, better by cold, better motion and heat. You have Apis, where also you have the swelling, and acute rheumatism and fevers and skin and erysipelas. You have arsenic, which fever and chilliness, but you have thirst in sips and mental restlessness and irritable skin. All these are different. You have desires, cold milk, pain in the left shoulder, bursitis, tendinitis, always very red. Itching better by hot water like Rus Ven. We will see in Rus Ven, we will see that they want boiling shower. So that is the main thing of Rus Ven. Herpes, shingles from poison oak for ivy. Tongue, as we know, the tip is red. The summary of this Rostov. The remedy expresses the struggle to separate from the other via the masculine principle, met with rigidity at stage 4. The result is represented by the skin complaints. Now they are stuck and restricted in a rigid manner, an exaggerated paternal quality. The affection of motion-related body parts and its counterpart restlessness, and a strong need for motion, even if it causes pain. We'll see this in some of the cases. So the restriction is met with particular physical restlessness. You have this restrictive father in the pattern. So cases. 29 years old, he's a foreigner, lives in India in a monastery, rigorous religious discipline. He repeats the asana 1800 times, the same asana. exhausting physical exercise he does, so much rigidity, so much energy, so much this thing to repeat. Before Isha, he was living in a cold, damp area like Dharmashala, where he developed stiff joints with restlessness. This made him unable to sit for long hours of meditation. He could not tolerate the hot weather in Coimbatore. Practices in the open air at 4 o'clock and does asana. Very disciplined. Developed joint pain. Mind is in motion as well. After that cold, damp area of Dharmashala, he developed stiffness. But after the remedy, the pain disappears and the restlessness appears. So here you had important thing was from cold, damp, and even hot, and rigidity and repetition, right? Can keep on and on and on. Another case. So he was an autistic and lived in enclosed institutions from an early age. He never seen outside. He takes aggressive psychiatric remedies, otherwise has attacks of rage. He eats huge quantities. This is important of this remedy, but remains thin. So this hyperacidity burns, we saw this in Mangifera also, the burn. It burns everything and hints to the fire element. The redness you can see, the restlessness and the OCD. If anything changes in the day, full day's pattern yet, even slight change, he can't tolerate it. He completely loses it. Loses it means he can't decide himself. He can't bear it. It will have to be like this. Periodic allergic reaction, the swollen ear, the redness, the hot lips also become hotter. So the restless behavior, fixation, ritualistic, typical shiny red swelling, Rostock 6 fever. He opened up. He started establishing communication with the outside world. He had never done it before. He's less angry when that routine in the day is changed. He can even hold conversations. He goes for walks. All this is after 20 years. So, amazing remedy, but you have to establish that one after another, the connections, and to get the crux of the remedy. Case 3. She was 42, divorced and a mother of 2. She had psoriasis, ailments from tension. She said it was a post-war related tension. See, I had to be at work and the children were at home. So how could they cope by themselves? I also had to think of my mother and my grandmother. My husband was not taking any responsibility. So I initiated the divorce. If I'm not getting help, I better be by myself. No? This is the rigid quality of column 5. Either you help or you get out, is what she said. I'm very active and husband is like a couch potato. And like another child. It was a release to have him gone. Skin, scaly red, has to itch. Voluptuous. Itching is also voluptuous. So Mangifera person is also voluptuous. She likes sports, runs a lot, long difficult run, like the challenge and that sensation. After a few kilometers of pain and difficulty, you start to fly. Liberation and happiness. Lately, she's got right thigh pain, which prevents running, and this is leading to lot of sadness. So you have another remedy called Kali iodide. It is also better by running, so also Fitya, but they are all different kingdoms. The rigid attitude to a husband, this is the analysis. The restlessness, and better from running, which alleviates the stiffness of the Sapindales, along with Seigel's approach of mind, careful, love, and all. Skin itching, voluptuous, head pain, anger after. Exertion, physical ameliorates. Mouth cracked, tongue fissured. See, I took some of these rubrics. Skin itching, voluptuous, general exercise, cracks and fissures, tongue cares, hurries full of. We've got sulfur, rustox, zinc, calcarea, alumina, pulsatilla covering. So you'll have to differentiate. Okay, so why was it rustox? Because you have restlessness and because it was so rigid and, the attitude to a husband that I better get out. If you can't do anything or help, get out. Somebody will say, at least he's there, at least he'll look at the children. But he was not looking at the children. I once had a patient whose wife went to work and husband was doing job from home. So she thought after the son, but he never looked at the son. He didn't even realize when the son became autistic. So we are not talking to him. So sometimes when we depend, you can get into trouble. So these were the cases. I hope you got the other idea of rustox. Did you get another idea of rustox? Or is this everything that you already knew? That rigidity we sometimes don't think about. We think of rustox as an acute, stiff pain, better by emotion, and all that, and the redness and the irritating skin. But that rigidity and that superstition sometimes can lead us to the remedy. So our next remedy is Ras venenatum. All of them are poison sumacs or good sumacs or sweet sumacs. So this is the ringworm miasm. We saw rustox of the typhoid miasm. Mangifera was?
Psychotic. Psychotic.
Yeah, thanks. So very poisonous, more than rustox, which he could handle with impunity, says Right. Similar skin complaints, itching better by hot water, just like rustox with vesicle. Skin is dark red, rustox is bright. Erythema nodosa. So here you have skin and joints like rustox. You had in Mangifera more heartburn. Eruptions clustered in red patches, very painful. So it can be useful for herpes zoster. Itching and vesicles, dermatitis when in contact with metals. Says Mangiala. He does a lot of work. We have some Materia Medica which he has done. Skin and rheumatism is better in hot, boiling shower. We said rustox is better by hot, but this one takes the cake. Hot, boiling water. Pain in the joints to the point of gradual paralysis. Stiffness leads to restlessness and deep depression, coupled with unlucky feeling. So most important, that feeling of unlucky. We'll see it in the case also. The profound depression can lead to losing this will to live and become numb. Even the little boy, you can see that whole defeated attitude. Only boiling bath can dissolve this sad numbness. They hold their pain inside with silent grief, like all the anacardiaceae maybe, but you had Mangifera which wants to slap. Fear, insensitive, no desire to live, everything is gloomy, hypochondria, absent-minded, rigidity, rituals, stiffness of the mind. So some of this is common. You have to look at the differentiating. Itching better by warm, very hot. Mangifera was better by cold. Erysipelas skin is dark. Nightly pains in the long bones. Can't control eating, which is differentiated from rust. So all will look like rust stocks. Even in your repertoire, you'll get mostly rust stocks. You'll have to differentiate. But just we also have rash in the joints, itching, swelling, pimples mentioned before, and the miasm in Rasvi is ringworm. Activity followed by inactivity, stop, then starts. You know, when you have people take effort, then stop and so on, fed up, then again they take effort. Ringworm is like that. They try and try again is ringworm. Sleep is disturbed by dreams of death. Worse menses, rest, touch, pressure, and in the morning. See the redness again like rust off. Rheumatism better by hot shower. They lose the will to leave or try more to lose weight. But when observed, this as an observation, blonde more affected than brunette. We in India are not concerned, right? Pain as if ulcers, cut, lesions surrounded by miliary rash. Itching was in the evening like rust off in a warm room and a cluster of vesicles again like sleep restless with dry hot skin, sleep disturbed by many dreams, father's death or in the future, something. Lascivious, again we see Mangifera had a lot of voluptuousness. This you have lasciviousness and venereal pressure with wild fancies of misfortune. So it is more traveling, downside. Worse menses before, rest, touch, pressure, morning on waking and before stool, eruptions with red patches, lot of stress, pressure of work, darkness, all this activity. The profound depression with no will to live, and only the numbness can be dissolved by boiling water. How they can bear boiling water is yeah. So let's see some case. Elderly woman with joint pains in the hands, which wanders from one location to another. They are worse when not in motion, better from very hot shower. At the height of the pain, she feels as if her hand is paralyzed and she is unable to hold anything in her hand. So it's like she drops things. She cannot hold. So it goes very fast into paralysis. She becomes restless when in pain. What if my body betrays me? What if I won't be able to work? But despite all this pain, she won't give up her daily work. They had a patient, just the opposite. She said, right from childhood, I never wanted to walk. So we just put her as lazy. And this one doesn't want to give up. I have pain, but I know after the initial time, then I will fly. She's tense and has headaches from tension in her jaw. So it helped her case. Case 2. So what was the case 1? The crux was that she is better from very hot shower. She becomes restless without walking. She wants to not give up her walk. She has tension in the jaw. She has must move. And when she cannot move, then she's in trouble. So, and she feels paralyzed. Okay. So these are the indications for that. Most important, of course, was the very hot shower. Case 2, 26-year-old man, tendinitis of the fingers, joint pains all body, especially the back. All the muscles are sore and contracted. Can hardly move his fingers. So he had to abandon his guitar playing. His dream had been to be a musician. He's only 26 years old. And he had to abandon his dream. What happened was this, very strange. I don't know how to interpret it. They haven't done it. Very stressed and profoundly depressed and full of anxiety. What happened was like this. 2 years ago, a huge tree trunk fell right beside him and hit him, almost hit him. He panicked. His whole body cringed. He contracted and shivered. And since then, the pain started, and it is now devolving into this degenerative arthritic disease. So it just was that severe fright. How will we interpret it? We'll have to see. So this led him saying, I will become a vegan. And he has been like that. He says, when I decide to do something, nothing will move me out of it. Means I'm so rigid. And he says, this hand cutting, as if because the major pathology began after that, tree trunks. His story also was full of crisis. He went through many crises from a young age. Parents were divorced, so the split has already happened. Troubled at home. He never knew when he would sleep tomorrow, where he would sleep tomorrow. He was raised mostly by his grandmother, but it was in a tough neighborhood, and he had to constantly prove his masculinity. So this is the fifth point. And you have to prove yourself that you're tough, that you're masculine, when inside you're so weak. He says, I'm very unlucky. So in this remedy, you have unlucky as a very important rubric. Rubric I didn't find. I took unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate.
As a young man, he partied and smiled a lot. But lately he had become religious, trying zealously to be pious. To be pious. He thinks all things will become okay if he does too much religion. He tends to self-criticism also, guilt feeling, and is very hard on himself. I found criticism rubric covering it, but I didn't find self. With Russ, when his pains went away, he could play the guitar, the mood improved, even the hernia improved. This is like magic. So analysis was from the table of plants. Rigidity and strict attitude led to your fifth column. Very hard in cells, censorious, bordering on fanaticism, fanatic regimen, becoming vegan or piously religious, and then sticking to it. And he said, once I decide, I don't change. Very hard on himself. So takes you all to fifth subclass and to the Sapindales, the rigidity. The rigidity and contracted disposition expressed in his physical pathology and indicative of middle of fifth column, the Sapindales. The unlucky feeling led to the specific remedy, Russ well. So I took the rubrics. Unfortunate feels, I just see, rust off will come. Fear ailments from I took because fright, I felt. And ailments from mental and physical I took. Religious affection, rigidity, fear, taking the breath away. I mean, it must have been so much fear. Sadness, fright, and fear aggravates. In disappointment and deception, I didn't get. Censorious and critical. Oneself off, I didn't get rust off. Fanaticism, I didn't get rust off or any other rust. But I took all these pains, extremities pain, drawing wrist, drawing in the fingers, heaviness, tired limbs, back shivering and shivering dorsal region. Now, if you see Rustox is 14, of course, it's the highest. But if you look here, Rust Ven, though it doesn't cover all the others, but you see it covers everything in the physical. So you will not be even unlucky, unfortunate, it's not there in Rust Ven. Maybe some other repertory has it, I don't know. But it is Rust Ven because you can see this feeling, this unlucky feeling that I am this thing. Rustox is much more superstition. It is more religious, but this is like a fanatic. We have to take the whatever we know about the remedy more than sometimes the repertory because it cannot give us it. Cannot.
Ma'am, one question here. All the depression and self, criticism and all that hardness, how does that fit in with the ringworm miasm? Can you explain that, please?
Yeah, because ringworm, we know that it is hopeful and it wants to do again and again. But when it progresses beyond that, when you have like this kind of a life where tomorrow I don't know where I'm going to sleep, can you imagine the insecurity and the unlucky feeling? And so then it progresses beyond that. That is why I have, today I'll show you all where some of the miasms which Rajan has given, I'm trying to think differently a bit. So I'll show it to you. But here you have to have that better hot water. And so unlucky. Sorry, there's somebody's mic is open. Please put it off. Mute yourself. So we'll have to take this a bit, because they are not so well proved. And you cannot take ringworm, in that complete thing. When it will progress, it can go ahead. Like the Comocladia is supposed to be leprous, but I think it is more syphilitic. So we'll discuss that. So we took all these rubrics, okay? Just to tell you, you want to write it down and work it out for yourself. I took sheer breath away taking, because I didn't know what else to do. I mean, you could have easily thought that the tree trunk fell, but it didn't fall on you. So I'm so lucky to escape. You can think like that. But because he's so unlucky, he said, only on me that trunk had to fall. So it was almost as if it fell on him. Not that it, saved him. So it is always, and that kind of fear which has just stuck to him and made him have a pathology which is so terribly crippling. Are you
Dr.
talking?
Nisha, please unmute.
Hello?
Dr. Nisha, please unmute. Please mute.
Censorious, critical, oneself of I neither found Rostov nor that, nor in fanatism. But in all these other drawing pains and all, both Rostovs and Rust Ven was even more. So that is our 7th remedy. Our 8th remedy is Rus Diversiloba. Any questions on Rust Ven apart from that question, which I can't answer really? Because it just, I can only say it is progressing. So it can't be a rigid thing. All these are fluid. So it will, how unlucky you are, how much you've suffered, and whether you're moving from that to some other thing.
Ma'am, does Rust Ven also cover OCD well?
Yeah.
So can it be prescribed even in pediatric cases?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
ma'am.
said na behavioral disorder. All of them. We said na the earlier one, behavioral disorder. You remember?
Yes, ma'am. So we can start with 30 safely, like in a pediatric case for OCD.
30, yes. 30, 200 if it's OCD. I would start with 200.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, and the best part is, the most amazing is that you can get so much in the repertory, no? Which you may not have thought, that When can cover so much of the detailed things. Detailed.
Ma'am, here, how do we differentiate with Cilicia, the rigidity of Cilicia, the headstrong nature of Cilicia? How do we differentiate, like,
But it is the
any major
mineral kingdom.
pointers?
No? You'll have to differentiate on the mineral kingdom and the plant kingdom, number one. And number
Identity.
two.
Identity issue.
Huh?
Identity issue, no, of silicon.
Identity issue. And also all that Cilicia has the image and the wanting to show, and the fear is always of the image falling, and therefore it has the exam fear or the stage fear. And all this is, missing here. And this is very sensitive feeling that I'm unlucky. You don't have in Cilicia that kind of feeling. It always takes a little back seat and wants to,
So, yeah, ma'am, because pediatric cases, we are little inclined to think about Cilicia.
because we've not used the others. No? So we'll have to learn to differentiate. Now, I'm not saying it's easy that you differentiate from plant, mineral, and they're again not watertight. You will have some leeway here, there. But you will see that the whole thing revolves around feelings in plants and the sensitivity.
That's
And
right.
over there, it will always revolve around anticipation, but due to the image and wanting to do better and standing up to everybody, and people should appreciate him. That kind of mineral attitude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So Rust River Siloba, Rust D. So here you have skin. Again, everywhere there'll be skin. You have to do differentiation. So here you have severe itching and burning, better by cold. Rust when is warm.
Redmi Note 105, excuse me, please mute, please mute.
Thanks. Facial erysipelas with edema. Now you see this edema here. Close both eyes, itching, burning. Just see how much edema there. It's almost like Kali, so we'll have to differentiate. Get the Kali, up, down, edema. Head hot, dull frontal headache. Left eye closed entirely by swelling. Vesicular erysipelatous rash. Edema of the face, swelling of the glands in the neck, and the vesicles dry up into a crust. So much so that they can't close their mouth. So movement of lips and mouth is also difficult. All the symptoms are there of rust off, but it is better by cold. Rust off is better by warm. Great edema on the face, swelling of the glands in the neck. Vesicles are dried. Eruption may be that Lyme eruption, chicken pox. Rapidly spread with heat and itching. They are worse on hairy parts, and the papules form next day. So you can see it's a galloping tubercular kind of a miasm. So that's all about Rust D. You should only know better by cold. Better, the eruptions are really, papules form so easily. The cracks are so much and they dry up, making you not able to move your skin or your lips or whatever part of the face. And this edema, very much more. So it will be a question of differentiation, relative. You can say this one has much more edema, that has little less edema. And of course, rust ox has the maximum edema, but It is better by warm and this is better by cold. Okay. So our ninth remedy, the last remedy, is not proved. Ras aromatica, ras arom. So it is very important in kidney and diabetes mellitus. So here, we're not talking so much about skin, but you'll have the rigidity. And so the case is software engineer, very religious, followed discipline. He wakes at 6 o'clock for his religious practice. 7:30 to 8, he gets ready, reaches office by 9 o'clock on the dot. Urine is burning, not better by any drug. So it is basically the remedy was given after nothing helped. Incontinence, cystitis is treated with antibiotics. And he developed diabetes and he couldn't hold the urine. The urine was pale, albuminous, white, like phosphoric acid. Urgency of urine. So here basically it is bladder complaints plus diabetes plus the rigidity. So the rigidity and whatever else we get can lead you to the fifth column, and then the rigidity will take you to Sapindales. And in that, if you have diabetes and kidney as the only problem, you can think of ras aromatica. So what I have done is taken some materia medica. So it is, as I told you, all are fragrant sumac, sweet sumac, poison sumac, so on. So this shrub, which is the least poisonous of all our rus, has had no proving. Okay. This is from Pierce's plain text. Diabetes is mentioned as being cured by this remedy. And it would seem to be especially indicated when there's pruritus of the vulva also. All reports that I've been able to find speak of its use in this condition in appreciable doses, like 10 drops every 4 hours, 2 teaspoons. He said I've had good success in 2 cases of nocturnal enuresis. My thought in the absence of known symptom being profuse flow and saturation of the bed means it wet the bed, but the child was not disturbed at all. So that is important when symptom. Enuresis, the child not disturbed because of the profuse flow. So urine and diabetes, here it was just nocturnal. I use ras arom in the tincture. Chaudhary study of materia medica. Ras aromita is a non-poisonous shrub growing from 2 to 6 feet on rocky soil. So it doesn't require much nourishment. Medicine prepared from the bark of the root and belongs to Anacardiaceae. My experience is very limited, but it deserves a place in materia medica by reason of its great fame as a remedy for diabetes. Urine is pale and albuminous. The quantity of urine passed is very great, as in acid phosphoacetic acid, but acid phos will have tremendous weakness, right? It is frequently characterized by great incontinence, due probably to atony of the bladder muscles. Hence, it is to be thought of in senile incontinence, which it helps. So when you have senile, just atony of the bladder vessels, and you cannot hold the urine, then also you can use it. You can use it in enuresis of children, especially when you have diabetes with kidney, especially when you have profuse, odorless, pale, albuminous food. We are greatly indebted to Dr. McClanahan, who made extensive use of this remedy and cured quite a few cases of diabetes, some of which had gone very far, mean they became very well. A case is of a middle-aged woman who contracted diabetes and became very weak. You would have given phosphoric acid. Too frequent passing of large quantities of urine, that's 5 decibel. Extreme thirst, again phosphoric acid. Backache, slight rise of temperature, cough with night sweats, and occasional attacks of diarrhea reduced her to an extreme state of death. So why was only phosphoric acid not given? Maybe it was given, didn't work. We don't know. Rus arom in half teaspoonful doses every 4 hours brought about a speedy and steady diminution in the quantity of urine passed till at last the patient was declared thoroughly cured. So mostly in the mother. Numerous other cures have been reported. Therefore, we should have a more thorough proving. It has been also recommended in painful micturition of children, like lipo and sarsaparilla. It has severe pain at the beginning of urination. Dr. McLachlan also recommends it in hemorrhages from kidneys, bladder, and now here the hemorrhages is quite, just as after and of a atonic condition. Severe uterine hemorrhage is stopped with Rus aromatica after all other means have failed. So we are not saying that they came to Rus aromatica right in the beginning, but when phosphoric acid failed or something else failed, then they thought of Rus. You have the same like phosphoric acid, weakness also, pale urine also, profuse urine also, debility also, uncontrolled urine also, and diabetes.
And very thirsty.
And very thirsty. The patient was passing large clots of blood and the condition was getting desperate till the patient was almost exsanguinated. He was gone. The first dose of Rus aromatica checked the flow and it ceased entirely after the second dose. So that is Rus aromatica. We've done what all today? We've done Mangifera in great detail. I hope you'll use it. Rustox, we've done the other part of Rustox, the superstition and all. Then we've done Rus Ven, which is better by hot shower. So, okay, so here it is. Typhoid miasm, Rustox, superstition, want to be carried fast, very religious, beads, very obsequious. Malaria miasm, Rus red. Sorry, I forgot to put anything. Ringworm miasm, Rus Ven, better by hot boiling shower, lot of rituals and lot of OCD. Psychotic miasm, Mangifera, you have craving for mangoes, go-getter, work, 3 o'clock, white discharge, stick. And also don't forget, craving for husband, desires husband and aversion. Leprosy miasm, lust, vabra, offensive. Shankaran has put Comocladia here, but I would rather put it in syphilis. I've called it a VP input because there's too much evil and devil, and we said it is much, much more vicious than anacardium. So I would think more syphilis. Cancer miasm, anacardium, angel, devil, and all this. Tubercular miasm, I have put Rus arom because it has kidney and diabetes. This is my input. There was nothing. In Shankaran's chart, tubercular is blank, syphilis is blank. Sora is also blank. Maybe we can put one of the other Rus D in Sora. I don't know. So this is what we have done today, anacardiasis. We have done 9 remedies, which are very important remedies and something which we already use and something definitely which we can use much more. So anybody wants to share any case? Any experience?
Ma'am, what is the points for Rus radicals?
Yeah, I'll have to go back to. I didn't have time today.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
no problem. Let's go back and look at it. I wanted to do that case with you. So every time we spend one remedy, a lot of time. Anacardiaceae last time and Mangifera this.
Hello,
Yeah.
Madam. Good evening. I'm Dr. Padmaja from Hyderabad. So I want to share a case of Rus veninatum. Okay.
Share.
I got a patient for some 25 years like that, and he has acute ringworm infection in groins.
Yeah.
Acute, very acute in ringworm infection in total groins, back, buttocks, and everything. It is spreading up to his hips and loins also. And that was a very chronic complaint since 3 or 4 years. He is suffering like that, and he has taken little bit of homeopathy and also other medicine, and it's not coming down. And when he came that, the simple, I only remember that it is coming in Restox family, and he is very restless person. He won't always move, and within 15 minutes of my case taking, he wanted utna baitna asan. And the only symptom is hot boiling water. He always boils water and pours down on that inside areas. So his mother is telling that, oh, you don't do like that. The area will also, that will be very smooth now. So you don't do like that. So in that way, they explained that symptom. 200, and that was a little bit better. It only showed only little amelioration, and but they didn't see that amelioration also quite so long time. And I have kept them in placebo for 1 more month. 5 doses of Rasvaninata in first month, and 200 once in a week like that. That 1 dose a week like that. Then 1 to 2 months I have kept in placebo. So he is better for 3 months, and after that again it has come very violently. So I thought that it may need some other medication in between. So generally Basilinum holds very good for ringworm infections. So I gave 1 dose of Basilinum 1M. And again, after a week or 10 days, I followed it with Rus veninator 200 for 5 more doses like that. And that's all, madam. And after that, it is all going on placebo only. Since 6 months, it is going on placebo only, and he is much better. All the patches are coming down. First, itching has stopped. Much better with itching. 50% of the itching has gone. Then the back hips patches are coming down, and after that, he is having only slight dryness and inside the groins. That's the only thing left now, madam. So I'm still observing whether need to repeat Rasven or not, like that. That was one case with Rasven I got.
Very good. If you can show us photographs next time, we'll be very happy. But to get that,
photographs he is not giving, madam. 25 years, no? He only showed
area is like that. Yes.
In his mother's presence only, he only showed me. He totally removed his pants and everything. He showed me with his in his mother's presence, and after that he did not anything like that, madam. So if at all I get that photos, I will definitely share.
Amazing. But the main thing is that hot boiling. It is amazing. It's such a delicate spot, and still you want to pour hot water. We have to be lucky to get such symptoms. That's yes. So here in Rus radicans, you have this critical, cynical mind, and they feel they are constantly being criticize and they react with sarcasm. So that is one important thing. Then of course, rheumatic, all that is there. Pain is better by warming up. Voice from exertion, thunderstorm. Skin also becomes rigid and hard. And affinity to periodicity of fevers, malaria, myasthenia. That's what Shankaran said. Scleroderma. Ras radicans, when you have scleroderma, when you have skin too much, tight, thick, stiff. So here, this lady, we had done that case where she needs the son to come there. And she said, I want to work. I don't like being dependent on him. And stitching. So pain is better by warmth. She had to change position constantly, very active. So something is getting hold of me and does not let me move. Kills me when I feel I can't do anything. I'm fed up of living. I can't bear the pain anymore. So motion versus restriction for all anacardiaceae always worked. So which is where she gets a self-image for this subclass, work and move freely. And but that is why the pain troubles her. The depth of desperation versus hope is what took us to malaria myasm, and therefore it was Ras radical.
The criticism, that is important here.
Criticism
Or feels criticized or criticizes back.
And reacted to the criticism with
all Rustock's modalities and Rustock's everything.
You must write that down.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Padmaja, for sharing that case. Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else has anything to share? Is Rama Dinavai not here today? She's quiet.
No, I'm here only. Yeah. I mean, typically Rustock's cases, though, we have seen good thing, but once with Rustock's only, skin papular and macular type of eruptions, which are seen on the hands. Like suddenly she came, she was already taking some homeopathic treatment from me. Suddenly she came with a lot of eruptions on the hands, especially exposed parts of the body. Like initially when I saw that, I felt tuja, but the typical eruptions that were seen are very small maculopapular Rustock's skin description I felt. So when I gave Rustock's within 2 to 3 days, because she couldn't bear the itching and the very small papulomacular eruptions on both the hands. So that Rustock's helped her a great. Within 3 days, I believe, 2 to 3 days, I repeated frequently. And that has helped her a lot. Of course, she was taking for some other chronic skin ailments and also so much of other symptoms were there. But at that time, initially, I thought, was it the skin that has come out? Let me wait, Bulke. But then I thought it was really painful for her, like to keep that, to have that. So I gave her Rustock's. It has given a very good relief. She was very happy. The third day itself, she came and showed. And I made her to sit for a while and I asked further history also. Pehle ka symptoms kaisa hai? I mean, like with the fear that was it the skin has come out and again I am treating her back to forth. I mean, I got little caught up like. So I made her to sit and I was asking her earlier symptoms and all, how they are, how each symptom. Then she said, no, all those are better only. as of now, right now, all the things are in a all the other symptoms are also much better. So that was the thing which because this distinctly I remember this with the rest dogs.
Yeah.
Of course, for many osteoarthritis and all I gave, that has given good relief. But yeah, especially this has remained in my mind like acute phase with a lot of distress and all.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, can we put Russ Dev in Sora with so much erysipelas and edema and eyes closed? I don't know, because those are blank. Tuberculomyasm, I put Russ Aromita kidney and all. And syphilis, I put Promoclate.
Madam, thank you so much. After listening to this, what we studied once upon a time, rust talks only rust talks, never thought about so many other rust talks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And so you made it far clear, but still we need, at least I need revision again and again to differentiate and also things.
Yeah, we have to look at our notes again and again and then.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true. That's true.
Yeah. So
The first to begin with 4 मायाजम से हम लोग 8 मायाजम पे पहुंच गए हैं. So that we have to first register ourselves and
Yeah.
then to start to separate out each medicine according to that miasms and materia medica of that medicine especially.
Yeah. Yeah. But of course, some of the cases which are given were probably because, either you got the characteristic or it didn't work and you just tried it after being desperate. But whatever it is, for us, it is useful. So
Yes.
we'll have to put these at question mark and think about it. Yeah. Sora, the tubercular and the syphilis. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Vishpala. Excellent, as
Thank you.
usual. Thorough.
Yeah, nice.
It is very
Because
nice and we
these are
can
the things
just
we need
use it.
frequently repetition, like otherwise the common remedies, and especially with all these understanding and all, I think it becomes more easy to prescribe also. Like, so this kind of revision of all the remedies is really helpful. Yeah.
And it
Thank
really
you.
makes us open up to in our practice also, na? That
Yeah.
you can think of these other remedies and you can even ask the questions, because you may not get everything. You may not
Correct.
think about the rigidity or may not think about.
Yeah, with this understanding, yeah, correct.
So Rutaceae also has a few remedies, but this is a very rare remedy, Olive. I think it's a wonderful remedy. We probably won't find it in any patient because
Yeah.
it is a perfect person. So let us see what we do.
And even Ajardica indica is also in Malleaceae family. Ajardica indica, neem,
Yeah.
which is, which usually we, of course, as an external neem oil, we do recommend, but as such, Ajardica indica, I don't think, I mean, as per my understanding till now, I didn't use in potency.
I have
Yeah.
used it in mother tincture for some children with worms.
Yeah.
Children
When
with
nothing else helped.
Uh-huh.
When nothing else helped, when Sinagina and all that didn't help.
Neem oil external I tried actually last year, I think last year or 2 years back, same again in a boy with lot of skin infections and all, which were not getting better with lot of internal medicines also. Then neem oil applications has helped him to come out of the itching and all. Because I mean, itching and all were not helping. Even in this case also, the eruptions were very diffuse and very small eruptions. Like how our understanding of psoric eruptions, no? Like that it was there in that boy. He is around 12 or 13 years old boy. In the bends of elbow, in the bends of knee joint. Like it was very... what the mother was telling, even I saw it also in that boy. It was very irritating for him. Like, so he was telling, I gave some internal medicines also. but nothing was helping him. Either the seasonal changes, and he has even this boy also has lot of other complaints also. It's at times it looked like a atopic dermatitis, but it was not atopic dermatitis. I mean, with the typical appearance and all, in the bends of joints and lot of small eruptions with lot of itching and all. But I couldn't see any. I asked her also, like during childhood or bachpan, maybe within 2-3 years of age, was these eruptions were there. Let us wait later. Then she told, no, no, no. As far my remembrance goes, I don't see these kind of things, Volke. Then to the greater extent, neem oil application has helped. I diluted with,
Ma'am,
yeah. So it has helped.
I also want
At least
to
he could
share
come
one
out
of
of
my
that
case.
irritation and itching. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rama. Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you,
Rama.
ma'am.
And thank you, Padmaja, for sharing that nice case.
Yeah, that Padmaja's case was also very nice.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Is
can I
your
share
surname
my
is
case of
Oleki,
Rust
Padmaja?
glabra?
Sorry?
Uh, I want to share one case of Rust glabra.
Yeah.
Rust glabra. Okay.
You,
Okay,
who are you?
one
You
of my
can
patients.
try to see if you can show your video also. I can't see you.
I am Dr. Inkita.
Tell me.
This was a case of lichen planus. She was having lichen planus for many years, but she had taken allopathic treatment and she had applied many steroid ointments, and all the active eruptions had like gone. Only there were few, 1 or 2 eruptions left, and the history was she was having a she was a single mother. She had a divorce with her husband, and the main feeling which was going on in the case was the feeling of betrayal, because her husband was having lot of extra marital affairs, and the feeling was always she was feeling very much betrayed, and guilt sensation inside her that something went wrong from her side, which made her husband to had extramarital affairs. And she also had itching in the eruptions, and the active eruptions, 1 or 2, there was lot of itching. So for that case, I repertorized the case, and the 1 and 2 mind symptoms which were mostly prominent were delusions that she's betrayed, she's cheated. So Rus glabra was the single medicine which was covering this betrayal sensation of hers. So I prescribed her Rus glabra 200. Few doses I gave her, and the active eruptions went away, and even the marks of the eruptions which she has got on whole body, the purple color marks of lichen planus, also started fading. And on the mental level also, she started feeling relaxed, and the sensation was diluted on the mind level also. And I also submitted this case in the NACARDSA.
Yeah, yeah. Correct. I remember. So here, I've just shared it with you that delusion betrayed being, there is Ras Cabra. So sometimes when we may just discard it and not look at it, we must look at it, and then, even Hura is there, right? So we'll have to look at it and decide which remedy comes up. Very good. Thank you, Inkita. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, then. So we'll see you all next Thursday with some more gems in the making. Yes. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. I just want to make want to say about ma'am. Ma'am has such a patience to teach all of us. She was not well, but she presented so well. Ma, we are all thanking you sincerely from bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. It's not easy. The last evening she was not well, but the passion for teaching is excellent.
But today I got well, no, so that's fine.
No, but you still, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And talk non-stop, one and a half, 1/4 is not easy.
Thank you.
Bless you,
Thank
madam.
Bye.
Dr. Vishpala,
Yes, Akash.
Ashok here. I just want to add two things. First thing is that mother tincture of this Azadi Rakta, our name is there.
Yeah.
For many years, I have a very good results using this mother tincture.
Yeah.
Really is beneficial, especially for eating. Other than the remedy, it was greatly helpful. As Dr. Rama was telling about the neem oil, sometimes it really helps to psychologically application of that. I don't use much applications, but still for the psychological help to the patient, this neem oil also helped me a lot in practice.
But I don't see any harm in using neem oil or any application.
Yes, nothing.
Yes.
It's a really great remedy and especially when I there in India, I ask somebody to always let me have the leaves of the neem that I use also in the form of Ayurvedic treatment, as usually know what to do it. But both things, even self-made or from national company or other things, Baxons or mother tincture of this neem is really good.
Even for patients with skin, I tell them to buy neem, boil it, that water, pour it over your body at the end of the.
Yeah, that is standard. That's a standard adjunct.
And second thing that's very important, I have to add it. Compliments to our Dr. Vishpala, great job, and really always nice explanations, especially. And I appreciate for the slides because everything is visible so nicely, because it happens sometimes in some of the seminars, the writing is so small that you cannot read it while you are reading also.
There's one question which I didn't see before. Sticky relationship. Somebody asked, I didn't get it. So Dr. Vidya, sticky relationship is when you have a relationship, but it never goes smoothly. Sticking means when it sticks. So you cannot smooth is when it flows, like how the river flows. But when then something comes impediment, then it becomes sticky. When it becomes sticky, it becomes much more difficult to resolve. And unless you have that, will and from both sides to resolve it, it can end in bitter and breakups. And then it hurts the Rust family much more than the opposite person, maybe. Like she said about Dr. Inkita shared a case where the husband was having many affairs, right? So it hurts the person. You can feel guilty for not even your own fault. And luckily, of course, always when we get either the specific rubric or we find the rubric in the repertory or we get a specific modality, and we also have this background of having a general, a general theory of how plants evolve and how the columns are made. This really helps us to make our discussions, much more broad-based, come to the right remedy. So yeah. So thank you all for sharing.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering my question.
I'm sorry for the noise.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
But I just, for lastly, if you permit me to give a few lines for a case only. It was a very, very, very serious eczema of this young woman, not young, but about 30 years old. The whole family was my patient. She really suffered that she had to bandage every time, fingers everywhere to work in the house. So much badly aggravated this eczema. And Rostox was one of the better remedy that I gave. I was able to gave, because of she was using very warm water for the bath. One of the symptoms which was convinced me to do, 80% all right. So I was able to use at the time this neem mother tincture also. So it was solved the case here. Thank you very much for all that.
Thank you, Ashok, for sharing. Thanks. Okay, bye everyone. Continue to share.